Hey guys, Andrew Roller at Dirt Rider Magazine. I'm here with Steve Boniface and Alan Brown, two of our test riders, and we're summing up the 2018 450 MX Shootout. In fifth place was the Suzuki RMZ 450. The bike was marketed as being all new, but it was mostly the new frame and the new front fork, new rear shock. The engine was just mildly reworked, so it still has the somewhat tame character that it had in years prior, and that's the first thing we're going to talk about. Alan, what do you think of the engine on Suzuki?
I spent a lot of time looking at the new Suzuki, and they try to tell us a lot about how it's new, but the engine I don't think is quite as new as their marketing. The head is redesigned, but the case is the crank, the transmission, the clutch. It's all basically the same. It's improved over the previous model, but I don't think they made maybe as big a step as they could have with the new bike and the new engine in particular.
Well, I felt like the power was a little flat compared to the other bike. I mean, it was really powerful, it's a 450. I just felt like it took a little too long to get it to rev. Maybe I had to use the clutch a little more. So that was a little down point for me as far as the power goes. I mean, it was fun to ride. I just felt like it didn't have as much power as we would like to see on a 450, especially at the bottom of the curve.
Yeah, I felt the top end was definitely improved over the previous model, but did you guys feel the same way or not as much?
The top end was okay, but nothing exciting. I found myself using the clutch a lot more on the Suzuki. You know, some of the other bikes you can ride a gear higher. I was using it more coming out of the corners where I should maybe downshift, but on the other bikes I didn't have to downshift.
Right. Steve, do you find yourself shifting quite a bit?
Yes, I did actually, and I felt like almost like needed a bigger sprocket. It was kind of like that feeling, almost like the gearing were a little too long for the engine.
The Suzuki came with a new 49mm front coil spring Showa fork and the new Showa BFRC rear shock. And Steve, you kind of being a little bit like me, being a smaller guy, was it on the stiff side for you? Because I know for me it sure was.
Yes, it was actually, especially the initial stroke of the suspension. I felt like it wasn't really comfortable, a little stiff for me. It kind of like keeps the height of the bike high, and that did hurt like the handling a little bit. I think on the shock we had to loosen up the spring to the max to get the right sag for my weight.
Yeah, definitely. I know for me, same as you, it was definitely on the stiffer side. It seemed like one click did make a big difference, especially on the fork. We were able to go a few clicks and it felt a lot better for me. After the track kind of got rougher, it definitely, I noticed really how stiff it was.
I don't know, I didn't think it was overly stiff. I think it was more a little bit unbalanced. I noticed a few times coming into some higher speed corners or some downhill corners that I could get a pretty big kick out of the rear end. I thought maybe it was just going too deep in the stroke and then kicking back up. I ended up trying to raise the back end a little bit to help it turn better and maybe to put more weight on the forks.
For sure. So would you say that the forks are definitely an improvement over the tack forks though from years prior?
For sure, I would say the forks are an improvement over the setting that they had with the tack forks. The tack forks, to me, I felt were incredibly harsh. You felt every single bump or every single rock out there, and it was just really uncomfortable to ride.
Definitely. And then the rear shock, do you feel that was better? I mean, all new shock, first time it's come on a production bike.
That was something that was really exciting. I was looking forward to riding that on the tracks a little bit more, and it is an all-new shock. It's an all-new design for dirt bikes. They've been on the Suzuki street bikes for a while, so it's not brand new, but it's brand new to dirt bikes, and I think they've got a few things to work out on it. I think it has a lot of potential, but it's just not quite there yet.
I didn't feel like it was like terribly bad or like not to my liking. I just felt like it was just a little too stiff for me, and I had a hard time to get a good feel and to really like have 100% confidence in the bike. So it was definitely like a challenge to get the bike handling like I really wanted to.
So moving on to handling, this was the part of the Suzuki that was essentially all new with the new frame. It's got some new bodywork as well. I personally noticed that the radiator shrouds definitely felt thinner, which I liked. To me, for the most part, the thinner the better. And the bike, it seemed like, for me, it didn't corner quite as well as in the past. Still very good, but not that super intuitive feeling that it had. However, I did notice a bit better straight line stability. Steve, what are your thoughts? Do you agree?
First, I really love the look of the bike. That blue-yellow combo, I really like it. It looked really good. As far as like handling on the track, I kind of really so feel with the front end of the bike, maybe because of the suspension being a little stiff for me. I felt like the bike wasn't really like setting like good coming into the corner. So I think again like maybe my lightweight didn't help the bike like handling like it should have handled.
I expected the new Suzuki to turn a little bit better than it does. I was really hoping to have some of those characteristics of the old Suzuki with softer suspension, and honestly wasn't quite there. I think it's close, but could corner a little bit better. The ergonomics of the bike, I like the seat, I like the handlebar position, how narrow it feels. All of that stuff is super comfortable in the Suzuki.
So that wraps up for the Suzuki RMZ 450, finishing in 5th place. Check back to dirtrider.com to see how the rest of the bikes finished in our 2018 450 MX Shootout.